Afternoon, sir. Mind telling me what you're doing on this porch?
Of course. My name is Marcus Hale. I'm the listing agent for this property. I'm waiting on the buyer. Should be here any minute.
You live here?
No, sir. I'm representing the owner. I have the lockbox code if you need to verify.
Yeah, I don't think so. Go ahead and turn around for me. You're being detained.
Wait, what? Detained for what?
Hands behind.
For a top real estate agent, the front porch isn't just an entrance. It's a workspace, a stage where first impressions are made, keys are handed over, and dreams of homeownership begin. It's supposed to be neutral ground, a threshold between what was and what could be. But for Marcus Hale, standing on the front porch of his newest listing on a crisp autumn afternoon, that neutral space was about to become the setting for an unimaginable injustice. Officer Greg Peterson was approaching, already convinced of Marcus's guilt based on a neighbor's call that carried a heavy undercurrent of bias. He didn't know that his own body camera would capture every moment of a baseless detention that would ultimately end his career, nor that the homeowner, a retired judge, would arrive in time to witness his catastrophic error unfold. What followed was the collision of professionalism and prejudice, the moment when years of reputation and credentials counted for nothing against an officer determined to see what he wanted to see. Marcus had been in real estate for 22 years. At 45, he was a top-tier agent in the Minneapolis metro area, consistently ranking among the top 5% in his brokerage. His achievements weren't accidental. They came from attention to detail, from understanding both the properties he sold and the hopes, anxieties, and dreams of his clients. He knew how to stage a home so the light would catch just right, how to draw attention to architectural details others might overlook, and how to guide first-time buyers through one of the most important financial decisions of their lives. His reputation was flawless, built over decades of careful work and genuine investment in every client's satisfaction. The house he was showing that day was special, a 3-bedroom craftsman in an affluent suburb west of Minneapolis. Original hardwood floors gleamed under the autumn sunlight. A renovated kitchen promised modern convenience, and the backyard backed onto a serene nature preserve. The owner, Mrs. Selena Gable, was 73, a retired judge who had lived in the home for nearly 4 decades. Widowed 2 years prior, she had finally decided to downsize closer to her daughter's family. Marcus had met Mrs. Gable 3 weeks earlier after she was referred by a colleague who had handled her estate planning. They connected immediately. She appreciated his directness and his understanding that selling a home steeped in memories required both business acumen and emotional intelligence. Marcus guided her through preparing the house for market, connecting her with stagers and contractors, patiently explaining each step. In just 10 days, the listing had already attracted considerable interest. This afternoon's showing was scheduled for 3 p.m., with a young couple, both doctors, relocating to Minneapolis for new positions at a major hospital. Marcus arrived 15 minutes early, as always, ensuring every detail was perfect. He adjusted curtains, turned on lights to highlight the rooms, and double-checked the thermostat for comfort. Standing on the front porch, phone in hand, he epitomized professionalism. Charcoal gray suit immaculately tailored, crisp white shirt, burgundy tie perfectly knotted, leather portfolio case against the railing filled with disclosures, comps, and financing documents. This was routine for him, a familiar rhythm he had executed countless times before. But not everyone saw it that way. 3 houses down, a neighbor, a man in his 50s who had lived there 6 years, watched Marcus. He didn't recognize him, and rather than seeing a professional conducting legitimate business, he filtered Marcus's appearance and actions through a lens of suspicion fueled by bias. He called 911, reporting a suspicious man in a suit at a vacant house. The dispatcher asked for specifics. Was he breaking in, carrying a weapon, acting threateningly? The neighbor admitted he didn't know, couldn't explain why, but simply felt uneasy. Officer Greg Peterson responded. 7 years on the force had left his personnel record marked with multiple complaints of racial profiling, accusations of targeting Black and brown residents without justification, conducting stops based on vague suspicion rather than facts. Retraining and counseling had done little to erase the patterns embedded in his approach. Responding to the 911 call, Peterson drove to the house, body camera activated, approaching the porch where Marcus stood calmly. The footage would become key evidence. A Black professional in a suit, conducting his job, confronted simply for being who he was. Peterson's boots clicked against the concrete as he advanced, camera bouncing with each step. Marcus looked up, his expression polite, assuming this was another routine inquiry, having encountered police at showings for alarm checks or vacant property inspections. "Afternoon, sir. Mind telling me what you're doing on this porch?" Peterson's tone carried suspicion, not curiosity, a subtle but sharp accusation. Marcus remained calm, introducing himself, stating he was the listing agent, waiting for his buyers, ready to cooperate. Any reasonable officer would have accepted this explanation, but Peterson's mind was already made up. "No, sir. I'm representing the owner," Marcus said, patient but firm. "I have the lockbox code if you need to verify." The lockbox was physical proof, standard for agents, yet Peterson dismissed it with a scoff, ignoring reason entirely. "Go ahead and turn around. You're being detained." Shock rippled through Marcus, captured on Bodycam. His posture stiffened, disbelief evident, yet he complied, fully aware of the dangerous calculus: resist and risk violence, comply and endure humiliation. The officer's hands moved to Marcus's arms, securing handcuffs. Marcus protested, voice tight with controlled anger and fear. "This is insane. I'm a realtor. I'm working. You can verify everything I've said." But Peterson continued, treating him as a threat, not a professional. Then, everything changed. Movement at the edges of the camera, 2 cars arriving. The first, a silver sedan, brought the young couple buyers. The second, a dark blue USV, carried Mrs. Selena Gable, retired judge and homeowner. The Bodycam captured her approach, the small, deliberate steps of a woman used to command. Her shock and fury replaced the pleasantness of expectation. "Officer, what in God's name are you doing?" she demanded, her voice cutting through the autumn air with the authority of decades on the bench.